Good morning, everybody. Beautiful Sunday here in the Philippines. Just look at this. Look out here at the sky. Man, isn't that nice? Look at that. Well, I decided I'd take a little time and enjoy my bike today. And before I get out doing anything on the bike, I'm going to change the oil. And I'm going to change that front sprocket that I have long put off to do. So that's what I'm going to do here right now. And if you hear the little serenading sound in the background, that's all my little chicks here, and they're having their morning breakfast. Well, I got the sprocket changed. That was pretty easy. Actually went even smoother than I watched on videos. I think some of them may have went a little bit too far on some of the things they were doing, but it's changed. I did notice that the new sprocket didn't have this little dampener built in it like this one does. This is the original, and it has that dampener in it right there, and the new one's plain without. Difference in size for sure. Went on there nice and smooth, easy to adjust the chain. I probably went a step further using a pair of mics, a pair of calipers to check it really close, and just want to make sure my rear wheel is well aligned. After I got everything snugged down, I checked both sides again to make sure none of it moved or changed adjustments from the tightening, and it was all perfect to a T. Because that way I make sure I'm tracking straight and that I don't prematurely wear a tire out. So I will do a little research about dampener versus no dampener on there. If any of you have experience with that, please comment down below. Don't email me directly. Please share it in the comments. I'm having a little bit of problem on that people keep, instead of commenting in the comment section relevant information that others could read and use, they want to email me personally with that relevant information that nobody ever else will be able to read but me, and others can't use. So part of having a vlog is the comment section, and the comment section should be a positive tool, not a negative tool. And so when you're writing something positive in there, that is what the comment section is actually for. It's of course, you can write negative and you can retract and say, no, you're wrong, you did something wrong. And especially if you're absolutely sure that it was done wrong. And or there's an alternative way to doing it. But you can be a critic and not be, so harsh. But man, I get so much useful information that I'm just like, my God, why is this not just wrote in the comment section? I just had a gentleman from back in, I guess, my state of Texas, probably within 40-50 miles of where my property is back in Texas. He wrote me this great comment on swimming pool stuff, but he didn't write it as a comment. He wrote it as an email, and there was nothing private or personal that, would have been bad. This would have been information that should have been shared out to everyone. And so please, if it's not something that absolutely has to be shared in the email, don't try to make it so personal, please. I mean, I really appreciate the personal, but share it out so that others can read it and they can learn from it. I learn a lot from you guys. I don't know everything. I try to use my noggin and absorb knowledge in out there, and this is how we grow as a species, is sharing knowledge, and share it to where everyone can read it, and they would all appreciate you, not just me. All right, so with that being said, if anybody knows about is it that important to have that dampener on here? Is it going to do any kind of pre-damage to a shaft in there or anything like that? Comment. I'm not a motorcycle mechanic. Woo, I had to pause for a sneeze. There's something in this air blowing, or just the dust that stirred up got me. All right, so anyway, that's done. Now I'm about to lean the bike back up over onto its side stand, and I'm going to run the engine for a little while and get it all warmed up, and then I'm gonna change the oil. So I'm gonna crank her up here for a little bit, let it idle, bring the engine up to a good running temperature, and that's gonna be better for changing the oil. And I may go ahead, even while it's sitting there idling, and get down here and change a few or remove a few things that I'm gonna need to. I'm gonna need to remove this. I wouldn't really call it a skid plate because it's just plastic. We'd just call it a low quality plastic guard. Let's call it what it really is. And I'm gonna go ahead and remove that guard. I need to remove it to get to the oil filter down here. All right, well, I got the oil changed on the bike. Now this bike, you have to pull off this little pan, and the filter's right here. I didn't show in detail of doing that, but the filter's there. It's a large cartridge filter, and it's the replacement on it. And then over here on the other side here, behind the drain plug, down in here, the drain plug right there, you have to take a pair of pliers and pull it out. There's a screen, fine mesh screen in behind there, and you can buy a replacement for that. And you definitely want to pull that out and clean it as well, especially your early oil changes and all, because the motor still cleaning itself up inside from manufacturing. So I got both of those done, and I'm about to top it off with oil here. Well, I just took the bike for a little ride out here in the rain, and I just got to tell you, it is absolutely perfect with that sprocket change. That is the ticket. It always seemed high taking off in the first gear. You know, you have to kind of rev it up a little bit so you didn't choke it dead, or you have to feather the clutch out some, you know. And man, if you're on a little bit of an incline, you had to take off. It was really bad. Now, with changing that front sprocket to that 14-tooth sprocket, man, it just feels exactly the way it should feel. I've been riding bikes my whole life, and it feels now right. It feels correct. It feels the way it should have been in the start. And I just kind of don't get that with KTM, because, you know, the whole logo on KTM's ready to race, right? Well, come on, anybody else know, dragsters or anything, you start off with a low gear. It gives you a whole shot out. You shouldn't have to rev up and you know, really feather out a clutch, or, you know, just dump it hard every time. But you should be able to come off of a whole shot a little bit. And it just wasn't that great, and especially here where you're in like these different terrains and grades and stuff. Or maybe you're just in a parking deal that you need to pull up slow into or something, and it's like chugging. You know, unless you really rev it on up and let out and feather out on the clutch. Now, perfect. It was just right what it needed, and it just feels so good. I am absolutely pleased with it. Absolutely pleased. Really great. So nice to get the oil changed. It was really easy to set the service interval and remove the service light. We also brought Cap's bike in and changed the oil on it too. You know, two buddies hanging out doing their motorcycle stuff together. Well, I'm not done with my day yet. I am now going to go ahead and put my risers here on my handlebars. All right, there it is. There's the risers on. And this wiring right here was passing up through the hand guards right here. It's passing through underneath there, and I'm so glad that I removed it from there, because of course I need a little bit of slack so that it can relax here. It was pulling up through there, but turns out that if I had not discovered this, it was pinching the wiring too. Let me turn on the light on the camera here. That had almost pinched my wiring in two right here. Look at that. You see it all flattened out. don't know if you can really catch it on the camera, but it was turned up at an angle underneath where the gap is not at, and it was pinching it so bad. I hope that there's no internal wire damage, but it had really got it, and it shouldn't have. And then this one on this side, this small wire right here was pinched between the clamp right here, also where it didn't belong. So this one was up in the gap, the void. There's a little bit of play in here now. I'll have to put something there to fill that. But this one was pinched in between the clamp. Now they installed that at the dealer where I bought this. They had to find the hand guards and put them on. They weren't on the bike in the showroom. They had to put the mirrors, put the hand guards, find the toolkit, you know, a lot of story behind all that. Well, I finally decided to go get these adventure tires put on here, these Battlax Bridgestones right here. Yep, that'd be correct. Yep, yep. Brought this ride-on tire protectant system, tire balancer and sealer, so it's supposed to self-balance. I brought this from the US. I didn't buy it here in the Philippines. It's like I brought the tires from the US also. So let him get this opened up. Just take that tape off. That's just where I put tape on it so it wouldn't leak. Yeah. You got to cut it. There you go. So I just got the tires changed out. Cap and I did. We rode down here to a place in Gimbal that he recommended, where he took his and got his tires changed just here recently. And here's my new tires, styling and profiling. Well, there it is, and this one pull over and just check my chain, check all the bolts, check my spacing on my braking here. All right, well, we're gonna roll on because it's hot right here. Nice little sea breeze though.